For the next part, we're going to actually use the Type Mask tool. Now, the horizontal and vertical Type Mask tool work the same way, but we can learn all about it just using the horizontal. Now, in order for this to work, you have to have an image that you want to use for it. So we're going to File and Place. And you can either go to Poland Pickup and go in my Extra Scavenger Hunt Photos folder for an image, or you can use one from your own scavenger hunt. So I'm going to use this one. This was a picture I took in England. The band was marching to, I think it was Buckingham Palace. I can't remember. And then I'm going to get that tool, and I'm going to, since this was going to the Queens, I'm going to type Queen. Okay, so when I click, notice that the page turns red. You see your blinking cursor, and I'm going to type the word Queen. Now, there's a couple of things that are important here. Number one, the font needs to be a thick font. It cannot be something narrow like Courier or Arial. I'm going to choose Cooper Standard because it's a good thick font. And then I'm going to increase my font size so that it is kind of filling the area. Now, if you have a whole lot of space here, you can, or it's not sitting in the right spot, you can use your Command key and you can move this text. And you need to do that before you apply it, otherwise you have to do it over again. Okay? So you can do that. You can also come into your character panel and you can increase the vertical if needed, or horizontal if needed. You just want to make sure that you've got a good part of the picture inside the text. Now, once you click Apply, you see the marching ants, that like you have a selection. And now that I see this, see if I try to move this now, notice that it moves the whole picture. I can't move just the marching ants. So if I wanted to get it in a different spot, I would have to type it again and then make sure that I move it down a little bit more this time. And maybe increase that vertical, vertical spacing or vertical size again. Okay, and again, I'm going to move it just a smidge. All right, I like the way that is now. So now there's a couple of things I could do. I could Command C to copy and Command V to paste. And when I do that, the marching ants disappear, but you're also going to notice that there is a layer up here where it's sitting. Okay, I could have done a select inverse and deleted, but this gives me a couple of different options. So here I'm going to show you layer styles. So I'm going to double click on this new layer, and in order to get to the layer styles, I have to double click over to the right. Okay, and this is what pops up. Notice that if I hit bevel and emboss, I have this text is being raised off of the image. So it is drawing attention to it. There are different options for how you set up the bevel and emboss, and really the only thing you can do is play with it to see what works best for your image. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that and click OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete, or I won't delete, but I'll hide that original image, and then I can just move that up. And so with that, I can still see the image here in the text. That's what the type mask does, is it masks part of the image that you want to be seen. Okay? So the next thing that we're going to do is type on a path. Well, we have different ways of creating paths in Photoshop. But one of the best ways is by using one of our shapes. So I am going to start off by creating a circle. And in order to make it a perfect circle, I'm going to hold down my Shift key. I do want you to see up here in my options that this is set as shape. I have no fill. I do have a stroke, which I'm going to make sure is set at 1. And then I'm going to hold Shift key and I'm going to draw my circle. Now, if I go back and get my horizontal type tool, and I'm also going to go ahead and copy my text again from this type text document. And watch what happens if as I move my text tool near the circle. See how when it's still outside but really close, the I-beam changes and there's like a little wavy line. This is letting me know that it's ready to type on a path. Now, I could simply click and type, okay? Or I could paste what I have on my clipboard with my Command V. Now, the type options that I have are too big for this. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to change it to Verdana. And I'm going to change the font size, I'm going to say to 12. And I might increase it. Oh, actually, instead of increasing it, I can go to my paragraphs and I can do full justification or justify all. And that is going to spread it out a little bit. Okay, so now I have the ability to type on a path. Now, in that same fashion, I also have the ability to type inside a shape. So you can use any of these shapes as well as the custom shape tool. And I'm going to use the heart. And I'm going to draw a heart here and get my type tool again, my horizontal type tool. And again, notice how the tool changes its appearance. Now that I'm inside this heart, see it how it has a circle around it? That's just saying that I am inside a shape and I can now type inside a shape, or I can paste whatever was on my clipboard. I'm going to choose a different font for this. Let's see. Helvetica hasn't been used yet. I can increase why does that keep changing to that? I can increase the font size. And try to make it fit a little bit better. Something that you'll see here, see how the text has a lot of, or not so much space in between lines? Right here I have what is called the leading. I can, by default it's set at auto, but I can increase the leading or decrease it for that matter to give a little bit more space in between lines of text. And maybe I will change this just a smidge. 17, sure, 17. Okay, and that's on full justification again. I could change that and do centered. Centered might be better than full. I don't know. But anyway, we can get it to follow a shape. Now, I also have the ability to apply a warp. So on this one, I'm going to choose a thick font again. I'm going to choose Hobo Standard. Oh, I keep forgetting. You have to make sure that you deselect before you change the options. Otherwise, it changes what you had selected. So Hobo Standard, and I'm going to type Bobcats. I'm going to increase the font size to about 50. And then over here, notice that you have this T with the curvy line under it. This is how we can warp text. So right here, you have a drop-down menu of various types of warp text, and I'm going to let you pick which one you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and do the flag, but notice that whichever one you choose, you can change it horizontal to vertical. You can change the amount of bend in it so that it goes on either side, okay? You can change the amount of vertical and horizontal distortion. I'm going to choose it like that. And then when you like what you have, you can click OK, and you can move it to an area to place it. All right, next we're going to use a tool here in the character panel called Baseline Shift. And we're going to go ahead and get the type tool, and we're going to type Spring Forest Middle School. Type the whole thing out. No cheating. I'm going to reduce this size of this to, I'm not sure what yet, maybe to 40. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to go one letter at a time and increase and decrease the baseline shift to make it look like it's on a roller coaster track. So if I choose the P, see how here the baseline shift is at 0? I can make it go up 4. And then I can go to the next letter, and actually 4 might not be enough with as big a font size. So let me try that again. Let's do 8. Okay, 8's better. And then I'm just going to add 8 more each time. So this one will be 16, and then the I will be 24. It's not letting me select it easily. 24. Okay, and then at that point we can make it start coming back down. So now instead of 24, it will be 16, and then 8, and then the F will be at 0, and then we can go negative too. So here we have then -8. Oops, I think I did 1 instead of negative. There we go, -8. And then negative, whoops, is that -8 too? Wow, -8, okay. Sometimes when you want to click on one thing and it doesn't cooperate, it's easy, there you go, to get flustered. So then the R would be -16, and the E -24, and then you go back up again. -16, -8, and then this would be at 0, so the I would be back up above the baseline at 8, 16, 24, and I just picked these numbers. They're not magic numbers. You can use any number that you want. And now it's going to go back down. 8. And then so this is going to be at 0, and this is going to be -8, -16, -24, and then -16, And then the last one, -8 again.